All right, welcome back to Boring Reviews. Nick here.
Gabe.
In Boring Land. And we are very excited we just reacted to the MS Dhoni trailer for the movie that came out, was that a few years ago?
Yeah, 2016, I think.
2016.
Right.
And so if you haven't seen that yet, check it out on our channel. And so now we're going to be reacting to MS Dhoni insane wicket keeping skills. And this was suggested by one of our audience members. Thank you. You'll see them right there. Their picture and their name. Thank you so much for that. And I'm assuming this is the real-life guide, not just scenes from the movie. That'd be kind of lame.
Right. We talked about wanting to catch some games, or some live games, but we also talked about having seen a few clips on YouTube. Now, much like baseball, cricket, there's two facets, you know what I mean? Of course, bowling, which is the pitcher, which would be comparable, I should say, to baseball's pitcher, and then hitting. But you also got to field, so I'm assuming keeping is fielding, and that's a big component. Sometimes people go to baseball games and they're like, oh, it's a 1-0 game. If it's a 1-0 game, that means there were some web gems. That means the guys were out there and they were really playing well defensively. And sometimes those are the best games because you're at the, you're at the edge of your seat.
You think there was 1-0 games in cricket?
Oh, well, no, I mean in baseball.
Yeah.
But sometimes those tight games where there's a lot of defense and one run makes a difference. That's a lot more than the big blowouts when you got all the home runs. I mean, I can appreciate it. I love that kind of game.
Oh, defense is fantastic, and I'm thinking because we're still learning that a wicket keeper is probably comparable to a catcher, right? Someone behind the wicket. So if it hits the wickets, I think you have to catch it. No, if it hits the wickets, you're out. But I think something about catching it behind or fielding right there, or when they hit it really small, you get it and you touch the wicket before they start running. Then, and not just that, but just all these ideas are coming to my mind. Someone throws the ball to you while they're in transition from running from one side to the other side.
Right.
Got to catch it and hit that wicket. So let's just watch the video and find out. But here we go. Here we go.
Boy Reviews.
Bueller.
This guy's got a big calf right there. It's like a hat and a helmet. Ooh. Save that one. Those balls are hard too. That's obviously a move he's perfected. Look at that. Swing and miss. He throws it up in the celebration. I wonder how good a Major League Baseball catcher was doing as a keeper. cool that you can slide with the bat. Oh, so it's before he gets his leg back? Is that what it is?
Yeah.
Jeez. How was the ref seeing that quick?
You can get back to it.
Oh, that's like a Jeter move right there. You get it and you keep it going?
You just go with your momentum.
Yeah. Woo! Ricochet. Woo! Not even by a note.
It's like being off base, getting picked off.
It's almost like in hockey too, where you can sometimes deflect it and go into the goal.
That's gonna be out. Big appeal, not out for a catch. Yes.
Hair going on right there.
Catch and the stumping. And looks very much as if he walked.
That's close right there. I'm assuming they have instant replay in cricket. They must hate him, man. Opposing players.
I wonder their umpires are as bad as ours. That would be high though.
That's the thing right there. Fish now sometimes he's positioned with his butt.
That's more like it. The captain has come into the direct hit. He's got to go back. The game is done. Thanks for coming. What about that from the skipper? Once again on the back foot. And a good catch by the Indian captain. The shot delivery working again. Outside edge. Dhoni doesn't make the mistake. He hardly drops it in.
You see that? Bam.
Comes back for the second glove on. Bad move occasions.
MS Dhoni. There we go. MS
You were
Dhoni.
saying it right?
Wow.
Jeez. So, I mean, it's, it's really tempting to be reacting to this knowing that our audience loves it and to be like, oh, that's amazing, amazing. But then it doesn't come off authentic. But I was truly amazed with the things that we were seeing with my limited knowledge of cricket, because I'm just trying to put myself in the situation right there where, yes, you have gloves, but those don't like they're too flexible sometimes. This hard ball, and it's just like catching and throwing. I mean, it reminds me of a kid, you're playing baseball in the backyard, you don't have the right equipment, and you're just like, we don't have gloves, we just got to catch with our hands,
Right.
and it's so hard to do even if you have gloves or not. So, I mean, truly unbelievable.
Well, I think that the fact that we're baseball fans, not that the games are mirror images of each other, but because there's a similar aspect to it, where with the fielding, you see the same reaction with that ball. They actually saw they had like 99 miles an hour as well. They were giving us how quickly they were throwing the ball, the batting, the keeping or fielding. It's funny you said you wonder how MLB catcher would do back there. First thing I was thinking to myself was, if it was Gary Sanchez from the Yankees, horrible, because he can't block a ball to save his life. This guy, oh my gosh,
for his power.
Oh, he knows, yeah, he can hit, but he cannot.
I mean, I'm sure you've done this because you used to play baseball,
Right.
But have you ever been behind there as a catcher trying to catch? And I'm talking about when I was in the Little League. They're not throwing at 90 miles per hour, like 30, 40, 50 maybe. And you're trying to catch it, and the batter's swinging at the same time, and you're trying to keep your concentration. To me, that's one of the most amazing things that an athlete can do. And so just the parallel of that, where the guy is swinging the bat in cricket,
Right.
and it deflects off, or it goes right through, and trying to keep your concentration and hit the wickets.
Right.
I think, given some time, that a baseball catcher in Major League Baseball may be able to transition that obviously easier than we could.
Oh, of course. I mean, but those are pros.
I'm not saying they can do what he does.
Those guys are pros. But, tell you a funny story. I stopped catching Trey when he was 13. Okay, 13, maybe 14. I was like, I can't do it anymore because he's throwing so hard and he's got movement on his pitches where he's throwing it, and if I miss the glove by a centimeter, man. I remember one time I hit the edge of the glove, came through, hit me right in the shoulder. I was done. And, it's again, he's a 13-year-old. He was throwing maybe 65, maybe 70 miles an hour. Now he's upper 80s. Forget about it. I'm not even trying to get behind the plate. So, I feel what you're saying. You see those cricket guys, too. It didn't look like when they're behind the batter, they have a helmet. You know what I mean? So I know that the batter has a helmet, but the keeper doesn't have a helmet. If one of those balls come up and you miss it, dude, you're going to be faced. It's going to hit you right in the face. So you got to have a good concentration.
These guys are brave. You got to have serious concentration,
I'm
serious
sure.
reflex ability.
I'm sure that's an injury. I'm sure there's plenty of, what do they call them, wicket keepers that just like hockey players don't have any fronts, man.
Not just that, but even when he is catching and hitting the wickets, you don't think his hand's going to be a little sore afterwards, or it's going to be hurting with that speed of that ball coming.
I'm sure. But, let us know. Let us know in the comments below if you guys have played both. What do you think is more difficult? Do the two sports kind of mirror each other? Or,
They're going to definitely say no way.
I mean,
there are some people that have commented quite lengthy, which is not a bad thing, that they've watched baseball, maybe they even played baseball here in the States or whatever, and how there are small similarities, but how they're just so vastly different.
Well, I can tell you, and I remember anybody who knows basketball, Michael Jordan is the greatest basketball player of all time. People say Kobe, LeBron. Bottom line, Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan went to play baseball, and he was atrocious. And he said the hardest thing he ever did in his life was try to hit a fastball. And, I mean, he died in the minor leagues. I think they might have called him up a couple times. And when we say he died in the minor leagues, it's basically they called him up for a cup of coffee and said, you ain't no good. So
he's still alive.
He's still alive. MJ's still alive. But, I mean, that's how bad he was at baseball. And, all these athletes, when they do celebrity tournaments, whenever they even play, like, home run derby championships, they come for other sports, football players, even a sport that should mirror it, like golf, for instance. When you're trying to hit a fastball, a 95, 96, 97 mile an hour fastball, and with movement, it's one of the hardest things to do. So I'm sure with that I was looking at that bat and I was thinking, does a bat that wide, does that make it easier to hit or harder? Because now it's got to be heavier. I wonder what those things actually weigh too, because that's another dynamic.
Well, I'm sure
to
it'll
it.
make it easier to hit it, but they keep saying in the comments, when I say they, I mean the audience, they keep talking about how the ball is much harder. And so you got to take that into account too. Yes, maybe you can hit it, but can you hit it with as much control and whatnot? And not just that, but they're bouncing on the ground and they're still trying to hit it. So, I mean, some of those, I mean, too, even in the infield, and that ball takes a nasty hop.
Oh.
I mean, you can't judge where it's going. It's going to hit you right in the face, maybe. And so that's where these people are doing, they're putting spin on it. I mean, you saw that one guy went behind him and he was like,
his back, and he still swung. I'm like, oh. But that
would be me. See how close I got?
I almost hit it. But you know what? I enjoy learning about the sport. And let us know in the comments if there's any other videos we should watch similar to this, where there's just like great highlights. Whether it's what do they call a home run? I don't remember. I know it's 6 runs when they hit it over the boundaries.
I'm not sure if it has a name.
It's just 6 runs.
I mean, I'm sure it does, but I can't think of what it is right now. But yeah, 6 runs.
All right. But or some we saw a couple of them when they were in the field fielding. Those are my favorite. Outfielders, diving for balls out there trying to catch it. I remember the one video we saw where the guy caught it and then threw it back to himself because if he caught it in that's one of the difference between baseball and cricket, where if you catch it in baseball, even if you go over the boundary, you're still out. But if you go over the boundary in cricket, it's 6 runs. So the guy hit it to himself and then caught it like it was going out. I can't even explain how he did it. It was going out, he hit it, and he came back in and caught it, which was insane play. But that's the level of concentration these guys have. And again, they're real athletes, man. I mean, I'm pretty sure we would go out of cricket field and we'd get destroyed.
I'm listening to him. I'm listening to this. Look at this comments. Because trying to find the name of that person you mentioned.
Right.
This person eating sugar no papa says cricket is basically baseball but good. Ouch. Ouch. But
I still love baseball.
With that being said, we hope you enjoyed this video. Go ahead and do this and do this. You know how to do it. If you want to, we appreciate it. Check out our Patreon page. We do have a Patreon page. We have a few patrons. We're very grateful for those patrons. Help us support boring reviews by getting us better equipment and making better videos. But until next time,
6 runs.